Okay, morning guys. So we're going to start a Netta Ivanova response. So double exposure portraits, and we can see an example of what it is we're aiming for on the screen. The only thing that's different with ours is we're going to link it to the idea of a digital world in some way. So the type of images we're going to overlay are going to be different, but the principle is going to be the same. So I'm going to start now with our blank file. And the first thing we're going to do is just make the background a little bit brighter. So to do this, we're going to add an adjustment layer, which you've done before. So over here on the right-hand side in the layer palette, I'm just going to go down to the bottom where that little symbol is, which is a circle, half dark, half white. We're going to click on that and we're going to select selective color. Then we're going to make sure we can affect with selective color different color channels and specifically just those colors. So what we want to do is make the white background a little bit brighter. So we're going to select white, and then we're just going to take the black out of the white. And you should see, in particular at the top, the background just gets a little bit brighter. And we want it to be a pure white background all the way around. If you find it's affecting the middle of the picture too much in any way, then we can just paint on the layer mask on that adjustment layer in black paint. So if we click on the paintbrush tool, select a brush with the hardness all the way down so it's a really soft brush. Make sure we've got black paint selected in the foreground on the left hand side. And then we can increase our brush size with the bracket keys. We could just take out the effect of that here on the portrait. You won't see much happening because there's not a lot of difference really. What you should see happening here on the layer palette is on the selective color layer, you should see a black area appearing on that layer mask, which means that the layer mask won't work. It won't affect that area. Okay, now our portrait's ready to go. We're just going to select our image to paste over the top. So we're going to look at some of the images we've got here. I think we're going to use this glitch. And to select it, same as usual, we're going to press Control A to select all, Control C to copy, and then click onto the file we want to paste it onto, which is this one here, and then Control D, and that'll put the image over the top. Okay, I'm just going to rotate it. So we could either Control T or Edit Free Transform, and then hover around the outside and turn the image around. And then to resize it, I'm going to drag from the corner. If I want to keep the proportions the same, hold down Shift key all the while I'm dragging, and drag it till it's big enough to cover the picture of our figure. When I'm happy, press return. That will apply the transformation. Okay, so next from here, it's a pretty straightforward edit. We're going to click on the layer mode. So on the layer palette, just above the layer, you can see where it says normal that I'm hovering over now. Instead, we're going to change that to screen, and that's going to make the image semi-transparent. And you can see now, we can see both the glitchy image and the portrait below. I can move that image if I want to by clicking on the Move tool, and I can just position it to wherever I think it works best. Again, if there's a part of the image I perhaps don't want that glitch on, then I can add a layer mask and I can paint on it in black. So I'm going to click on the paintbrush tool. If I don't want to remove it completely, I'm going to take the lower the opacity and the flow on the top taskbar up here. It's about 50%. And I'm just going to paint on it a little bit lighter on the layer mask, not on the layer itself. And you should see that bit, the effect or the layering effect has just disappeared a little bit on that part of the face. Okay, we're going to put a second image over the top. So you can put one image, a couple of images. It's up to you according to what you think works best. I'm going to try and find, this image here of a load of video game characters again. Control A to select all, and the dotted lines will appear all the way around the outside. Control C to copy. Then click back on the image I want to paste it onto. and Control V to paste. And again, we'll see it appear as a new layer. Now, all we're going to do is the same thing we did with the last image. Control T to resize, holding down Shift key this time to keep the scaling the same. I'm going to resize it to cover my figure. Press return when I'm happy to apply the transformation. And then again in the layer palette, change the layer blend mode from normal to screen. And we should see our computer game characters coming through as well. Again, if I click on the move tool on the left hand side, I can then move the image to wherever I want it to be. And I could fade out areas of it again by, again, adding a layer mask. So on the layer, move down to the bottom, we click on the symbol, the rectangle with a circle in it. That'll add our layer mask. And then we use soft brush with a hardness down, paint on it in black to fade out any areas if we want to see the portrait come through a little bit more. Okay, if you got that far, well done, guys. Just going to bring out those bits. I'm going to pause it now, and then I'm going to show you a few bits on adjustment layers, so how we could tweak the image or darken the image as well afterwards. Okay, I'd repeat this task a couple of times, and then we'll talk about adjustment layers afterwards.